Have I ever told you about some of the semiconductor wet benches we've worked on? So they're kind of a cool machine. They're used for processing wafers that get made into semiconductors, or sometimes they're used in other biomedical fields. They're usually really harsh chemicals. A lot of times they're hydrofluoric or they're heated, really hazardous stuff. The companies that tend to make these benches are very specialized in making sure that the plastic housings and the baths and the plumbing are ultra pure and can contain these really harsh chemicals. They have vent hoods and all kinds of safety to make sure that nobody gets injured by these chemicals. But these OEMs, they're so talented in their plastic fabrication skills, then they also try to add the layer of automation in-house, and it often costs them a lot more. I know of a few manufacturers that have actually given up doing any of the automated stuff and purely do the plastic fabrication. But we can help them by just doing all the automation stuff, and that includes the temperature control of the baths, the interlocking of the valves for filling and rinsing, and all the logic and safety systems to make sure that nobody gets hurt. Some of these chemicals you can't put into a bath one after the other, or they'll react with one another, which is obviously really bad. There's other wet benches we've done where the dangerous chemicals are actually separated in different baths, and there's a robotic actuator that actually moves the product from one to the other, rinsing it. You might think of like a dishwasher where you've got a soapy water and a rinse water and some other things, but they're doing much more hazardous chemicals for it. And we've done a lot of them. Everything from the full motion control system where we have 22 or 24 axes of servo motion moving product from one bath to another, to just a manual bench where we're controlling pumping in fluid into a given bath, letting a part soak for a certain amount of time, draining the bad chemical out or the dangerous chemical out, refilling it, and then going through all the cycles to make sure that whatever part is in there is processed properly. They're used a lot in semiconductor, everything from the actual wafers that get cut into making ICs to a lot of the tools that are used in the process of making semiconductor wafers. Good question. Yeah, most of the time they do need to be UL 508 panels, and we do build those here. That allows them to get permitted in their locations much more easily than having a third-party inspector come in and look at the final system. So that's something a lot of our OEMs really appreciate, that they don't have to maintain a UL 508 file and have all the inspections and the fees that go along with that. So we provide a complete UL 508A listed assembly, and that helps them get installed. Yeah, no, actually all over the world. We've got systems in Pacific Northwest and Arizona. We've even supported systems in Japan where we've had people on site for months at a time getting new systems up and running. The most hazardous chemicals we work with, probably hydrofluoric. We do not like working with hydrofluoric acid. It's a very dangerous chemical, and you've got to treat it very, very carefully. So no, really, it allows our manufacturers to expand into a whole different market, where if they're just used to doing the plastic fabrication and they're not really comfortable with the automation, we can provide that part of it, and then they can compete into markets they would not be able to get at otherwise. And so instead of just making a basic plastic box with some pipes, they can actually offer a completely robotic system where we're providing the robotics and the controls, and they're providing the plastic assemblies, and create a really great system. Just thought you should know that.